Welcome to This Explainer. Look, let's be real. Nobody exactly loves taxes, right? But if you're a new business owner, an aspiring entrepreneur, or even a community organizer stepping up to the plate, you're gonna have to face government tax systems sooner or later. It can feel like a total labyrinth, but today, we're going to decode it together. We're stripping away all that confusing jargon and looking straight at the facts to completely demystify UK corporation tax. Now, I want you to consider this your official wake-up call. You do not get a bill for corporation tax. It's true. Unlike your personal taxes, where the government might send you a nice, polite letter telling you exactly what you owe, in the business world, the burden is entirely on you. You've got to work it out, report it, and pay it. Literally, nobody's going to tap you on the shoulder until, well, you've missed a deadline. So the stakes are immediate, and the responsibility is all yours. But hey, don't panic. We're going to systematically break down the rules of the game together. We'll quickly cover what the tax actually is, who pays it, the profits that get taxed, the residency rulebook, and exactly how to register. Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1. What is corporation tax? Defining the beast. So at its absolute core, corporation tax is simply a tax that your company or association pays to Revenue and Customs, or HMRC, on the profits you make. But notice the key phrase here, in an accounting period. This isn't just some abstract idea. It's tied to a very specific window of time, like your company's financial year. The amount you end up paying is directly tied to how much profit you generate during that specific block of time. And while, yes, paying tax is inevitable, the government does provide certain allowances and reliefs that you might be able to claim to, kind of soften the blow. So whose responsibility is this anyway? Let's move to Section 2. Who actually pays it? Identifying the taxpayers. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer variety of organizations on the hook. We all expect limited companies to pay corporation tax, right? That's just business 101. And it totally makes sense that foreign companies operating a branch or an office here in the UK, also known as overseas companies, have to pay their share too. But look at that third point. Clubs, cooperatives, and unincorporated associations. Yeah, that means your local community group or even your weekend sports club might actually be liable for corporation tax if they're turning a profit. It's definitely not just for the massive multinational corporations. Which brings us to the money itself. Section 3, the profits that get taxed. Where the money comes from. If you're navigating these government requirements for the very first time, you are probably asking yourself this exact question. What exactly counts as a taxable profit in the eyes of HMRC? Well, HMRC looks at 3 specific streams of money. And we really need to translate their jargon into plain English so this truly sticks. First up, you have trading profits. This is simply the money your company or association makes from doing its actual business, like selling products or providing services. Second, they look at money made from investments. Basically, if your company's money is out there making its own money, that gets taxed. And third, we have what the government calls chargeable gains. In simple terms, if your business sells an asset, say a piece of heavy machinery or a commercial property, for more than it originally cost to buy it, you've made a gain. And yes, for sure, that is taxable profit too. Now we have to look at the map. Section 4, the residency rulebook, UK versus global profits. And this brilliantly illustrates a really critical split in how international business is handled. And it all comes down to where your company is considered a resident for tax purposes. If your company is classed as a UK resident, HMRC casts a really wide net. You pay corporation tax on all your profits, whether they were generated in the UK or completely abroad. You pay on the whole global pie. But if your company is not classed as a UK resident, but simply has an office or branch located here, the rules change. In that scenario, you only pay corporation tax on the profits generated specifically from your UK activities. It's a pretty stark contrast, so getting your residency status right is absolutely crucial. Let's move to and see how this builds into real-world application. Section 5, how to register, taking action. Knowing the rules is only half the battle. Now you actually need to step up to the plate. When you're a limited company, your easiest path is to just knock it all out at once. When you register your brand new company with Companies House, you can opt to set up your corporation tax at the exact same time. Doing it all at once saves you a massive headache later on. However, if you do skip that step during the initial registration, you're going to need to go online and manually add corporation tax services to your business tax account so you can manage the whole shebang digitally. But hey, a quick detour for community organizers out there. If you are running a club, a cooperative, or another unincorporated association, your roadmap looks a little different. You don't use the standard Companies House route for this.
Instead, you'll need to register for corporation tax through a different, specific process directly with HMRC.
So, the crucial point here is understanding your active status. You might be sitting there thinking, well, I've registered my company, but we haven't actually sold anything yet. Don't worry, HMRC accounts for this. If your company is not currently doing business, it's usually classed as a dormant company for corporation tax purposes. And that means you are generally exempt from the active duties of filing and paying until you officially start trading.
We started this explainer with a warning, and I want to end on it as well. Literally, nobody is coming to do the math for you. And the invoice isn't going to just magically appear in your mailbox. Since you won't get a bill, the power and the responsibility are entirely in your hands. So, are you prepared to take that first step, register correctly, and truly master your company's accounting period? The foundation is laid. Now it's time to build on it.